right, what is up, everyone? We are live. So, a lot of people apparently missed the Clash last night, which shouldn't surprise me, but for whatever reason, it does surprise me. But it shouldn't, because 5 hours before the event started or whatever, NASCAR flipped it and said that they were going to have the race. So, I don't know why that surprised me, but it did. I just figured everybody would want to watch the heat races, so they would kind of see it anyway. But yeah, so a lot of people were not going to watch the heat races, but we're going to watch the main event and are surprised, or at least according to the comments in the for the video, were surprised. So that caught me a little bit off guard, but it shouldn't surprise me that much. Once again, NASCAR did the right thing, but at the end of the day, the really right thing would have been to do it way earlier in the weekend. Change it way earlier in the weekend so everybody had time to prepare and get their stuff straightened out. But they didn't do that, but ultimately did the right thing, albeit 5 hours before the race. So, yeah. But I do have a poll question up. Where should the next Clash be held? The Rock, Daytona, Kern County Speedway, or Panama City for MTV's Spring Break 92? Right now, 18% want it in Panama City for MTV Spring Break. Daytona, 35%, 48% for The Rock, and so far, 0 for Kern County. Kern County gets a lot of people in the comments and a lot of people in chat normally talk about it. Speaking of chat, I'm going to jump into that and see what y'all want to talk about. What's up, Chrome? What's up in between the lanes? Back-to-back days with the BB live stream. I like it. Yeah, I'll try to throw these up a little bit more often, but we'll always have the scheduled ones on Tuesdays and Sundays for the regular season here. Enjoy some of that before the 2-week hiatus. Let's see. In between the lanes, watched the Pro Bowl, and he said the NFC won, so good job to the NFC there. I forgot all about the Pro Bowl. I was watching Reacher on Amazon Prime. Pretty good. I like the Reacher show. Pretty good show. If you ever watch Blue Mountain State, it's the really big dumb guy from Blue Mountain State. I forgot his name. Anyway, that's who plays Reacher, and he's even bigger now. Like he's all up in the sauce, in my opinion. Let's see. The Clash should be held in Alaska. NASCAR first snow race. So they did have they did in NASCAR Europe. They tried to have a ice race or a snow race. Didn't work out. Something about it fell through, but maybe they'll get that done eventually. But yeah, believe it or not, NASCAR is already investigating that. Is it true your name is in the running to replace Peyton Manning as the head coach for the NFC? I don't think I can fill that hat. That's a big hat to fill, and so we'll leave it at that. I voted for The Rock. Didn't know Alcatraz had a track, says Shy. It's actually Dwayne The Rock Johnson's house. That's the Rock we're referring to. So they'll be having the that if this poll holds up, 41% want to have the race at Dwayne The Rock Johnson's house. Let's see. Will Justin Haley win the Daytona 500 this year? That's a good question. I'm surprised he actually got into the Clash. Laid down a lap. So looks like the 51 for Rick Ware Racing has continued to improve. I don't think the 15 is there yet, but the 51 at least has some speed to it. Justin Haley, he's actually pretty good at restrictor plate tracks, so I'm not going to sleep on him there. I will be interested to see who's faster at the restrictor plate with the new bodies. Is it going to be Ford or is it going to be Toyota? Looked like Toyota had the old short track package, because that wasn't the new short track package at the Clash, but they've got the old short track package sort of figured out. WWE should have a Hell in a Cell with The Rock, where The Rock takes on all. He is, who is he fighting? Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I think. I saw something about that. I haven't been keeping up with it at all, but I did see something about that. As much as I want the Clash back in Daytona, I have a flashback of 2019-2020 embarrassment, says Chrome Diesel. Like I said, like I've been saying the whole time here since the debate started, I think every fourth year you have it in Daytona, and that way every fourth year you can do like an actual speed weeks at Daytona, and then the other 3 years you rotate it around to other places. That grows the sport, and it gives the people who want the history respected. It gives them their race, their Daytona Clash as well. So I think that's the best way to do it. That's a good compromise for everybody, in my opinion. But NASCAR doesn't care about what I think. We can hold the Clash at Auto Club, new track. Oh, wait, says Cody. So Auto Club not close to being done yet. I know I mentioned this last night, BB, but the Fords and Toyotas look good on Tuesdays. Yep. They a lot of people were pretty down on the Camry, but I think once they saw the teams, Toyota didn't have the most flattering rap on that Camry. Was part of the problem. But I think a lot of people actually started liking the Toyota Camry as far as the way it looks when they actually saw the teams wrap it. So I thought it was a good-looking car. The Mustang, obviously, a good-looking car, and Chevrolet, a good-looking car, just the same car we've been seeing. A driver told me they were looking for Detroit Silverdome, says Duke Chronic. A lot of people have talked about doing the Detroit Silverdome. So we'll have to see if they get it done there. I have heard a lot of talk about Detroit. I don't know necessarily the Superdome, but I heard a lot of talk about Detroit for sure. Never seen so many people happy about a musical performance not happening, says TJ. That's true. Regardless of what they say, I think MGK saw that there weren't enough fans there, and he decided not to perform. They gave some BS about safety, but I don't think that was actually the case. BB, what's better, Chipotle, Wingstop, or Panera Bread? I like Wingstop for the most part. Wingstop has good hot wings. I'm not a big fan of anything else they've got, but their actual buffalo wings are pretty good. So I'll take them. I know it's a little bit controversial. A lot of people are going to want to go Chipotle, but yeah, I like Wingstop better in that situation. I'm a wings person. Reacher is a great show, says Duke Ryan. Yeah, Reacher's where it's at for sure. They've got a season 2 out. I'm rewatching season 1 because I'd kind of forgotten what happened in season 1, and I swear I think the dude got even bigger in season 2, or they're using a different camera that makes him look wider. But man, he looks even bigger in season 2. But good on him for putting in the work. And drinking the juice smoothies there. Let's see. The Pro Bowl is dead is the flag football game, says Joseph Wooten. Howdy from the Great White North, says Robin Marks. What's up, Robin Marks? What's up, Canada? I voted for Panama only because MetLife Stadium wasn't an option. LOL, says Kyle. Yeah, Panama City. I mean, if it's Panama City Beach, you can maybe sell some travel packages for it. Spring Break 92, baby, or what did I put, 92 or 94? 92, yeah, Spring Break 92, baby, MTV Beach House. Let's see, howdy from I just read that one. Let's see here. I hope they go any other place next year. The Clash in LA has run its course 100%, says Steve Easy. Yeah, and that's my thing. So if you're going to do this, you've got to move it around and keep it fresh, because no matter, and this is nothing against LA, but no matter where you have it, by the 3rd year, everybody's going to be over it. So just run it somewhere one year, run it somewhere else the next year, so on and so forth. They've shown that they can build the tracks as they need them. So just go town to town, city to city with the Clash, and then on the 4th year, bring it back to Daytona. Have a proper speed weeks for the people that want the history of it respected. I think that's the best compromise to do the deal. Clash itself ran off its course. People stopped caring about the pole winner only race, says Chrome Diesel. So there's a lot of people that believe that too, and that's by ticket sales and by attendance. It's hard to argue otherwise. I want to see the 51, how the 51 looks at the track. He's been mediocre at. He runs well in the Clash the last few years, at least, and he did until Larson shifted him into the wall. LOL, says Kyle. Yeah, the first year or whatever, for sure. Or was it last year? But yeah, last year Larson clipped it pretty good. But he has some other tracks he runs good at too. He's actually a really good road course racer. So I'll be interested to see what he does at the road courses. For those who forget, he was the guy that SVG passed at the end to get the win there in Chicago. Honestly, no one wants to be in California anymore, from what I hear and see, says Shah. I mean, there's definitely, the numbers speak for themselves. A lot of people are moving out of California, whether it be for tax purposes or whatever. But yeah, that's for sure. If you did, I'm not getting into the political stuff, so I'm just going to stay out of it. Sean Moore says, if you did miss the race, you didn't miss much, says Sean. Well, they had a good finish. I think the race itself was a typical Coliseum race, but the finish was at least good. So, a lot of people didn't like the Denny Hamlin one, but the finish itself was an exciting finish, I guess I should say. A lot of Denny haters out there, and the Denny fans are reveling in it. They're enjoying the tears. Do you know the Speed Week schedule? I don't know it off the top of my head, but they're going to qualify maybe Wednesday would be my guess. I'm just guessing. Thursday will be the duels, and then they'll have the race on Sunday, and then Saturday they'll have the other races. And Friday will be the truck race, would be my guess. I don't know. It's just Speed Week. It's just going to be 1 week of it. And then next week's the Super Bowl. There won't be any NASCAR stuff. I don't know what else you could do with the Clash at this point other than move the actual event. Someone's here in the middle of the season and make the off season 2 weeks longer. I live a few hours away from the Rock. They're ready to go. I think it would be a great race, especially for us longtime Cup fans, says Steve Easy. I'm pretty sure that they've got to be in the running for it. I mean, they wouldn't have repaved it and put all this money into it if they didn't know something, I feel like. So I feel like the Rock, if it's not getting the Clash, it's going to get something. It's going to get something, I feel like. How about Hickory, North Carolina for the Clash, says Sir Wood Rooster. I don't know if the infrastructure of Hickory would hold a Clash race. I don't want to downgrade a track or anything like that because I like Hickory, but I don't know unless they've renovated the bathrooms on the inside of the racetrack. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I don't see him having a Cup race there. What up, BB? Good start for Hamlin. He beat your favorite driver and mine. Shaking my head, but I haven't been. I know they were talking about doing it over there at Hickory, and I know they used some of the money. Mr. Kevin Piercy probably used some of the money to fix it, but if it's not fixed, there's no way they're holding a Cup race there if they haven't got it back up to snuff down there. What's up, BB? Good start for Hamlin. He beat your favorite driver and mine. Shaking my head, says Aaron Armstrong. So yeah. I beat your favorite driver was like cool the first time he said it, and I'm not hating. I'm just saying it was cool the first time he said it. Now it's just getting kind of corny. Like I hope he doesn't say it, and I hope he doesn't make that his thing. Like Kyle Busch does the bow or whatever. Saying the same thing when I think that it would just sort of get kind of corny after a while. But that's just my opinion. But he definitely did what he needed to do. He didn't have the best handling car. He just drove in there, and obviously the brakes weren't working. He just wheeled it, man. You got to give the guy credit. He just absolutely wheeled it at the end, and Kyle Busch couldn't catch him to put the bumper to him. And that was that. I heard NASCAR was moving the Clash somewhere in Mexico next year. Yeah, so Mexico is also in the running. I don't think they've completely decided what they want to do with it, but for sure Mexico is in the running. I think that's what you sort of saw. I think they were sort of gauging the interest for the Mexico race with having the Mexico series there this year. Yes, was a lot of chit show. How NASCAR lost, how much money NASCAR lost there. Probably and did. No more domes, please. So no more domes. You can count me. You can count me in the camp that wants the Clash moved to Irwindale. So Irwindale is another one people have talked about a lot. The stadium course was a bad, costly idea from Fox. Same with Bristol Dirt. So was some of the Fords spitting on the brakes in front of the to soften up the right front tire. I don't know. Like they had a lot of brake bias. They were doing a lot of brake bias stuff with the cars. I'm not going to pretend to know what they did unless, and nobody really knows what they were doing unless they were working on the car. So, but yeah, they will play with the brakes to get them to turn the way they want them to turn, or to get them to tighten up how they want them to turn. So there's a little brake bias knob in there that they can play with. And how they plumb that, whether it's front to rear or left to right, that's all up to driver preference and what the teams are doing. I think Denny Hamlin should enter next year's Royal Rumble so we can hear the pop when he tells the wrestling fans, "I just beat all your favorite wrestlers," says Walter Flair. There you go. MGK has a reputation for being incredibly lame in every way. BB, who has better hot food, Arco or Buc-ee's? I'm going to go with Buc-ee's there. It's hard to beat the Buc-ee's brisket. Wingstop Atomic Wings are great, says Joseph Wooten. Yeah, I like them too. Let's see. Rick Stenhouse Jr. buys his Cheerios from Kroger's. Kroger. He also gets them at Ralph's on the West Coast. When he's on the West Coast, he checks out a nice Ralph's and gets him some creamer for his Caucasians there. Let's see. White Russians, another word for it. Aaron Flynn says splitting. Talking about splitting the brake bias. John Hunter Nemechek shops at Dollar Tree. He says in between the lanes, move the Clash around, keep free Saturdays to get people interested. Yeah, I think the free Saturday thing is definitely a good idea, and I think moving it around is definitely a good idea. Clash was at its peak. I was disappointed with the turnout though. That was a bummer. Clash was at its peak when they pulled starting position flags out of Bud bottles. Says TJ to me. So yeah, that was definitely big. But the whole sport was bigger back then. So it just is what it is. BB, what's better, sushi or Chinese food? So Chinese food is pretty much an American creation anyway. So I'm going to go sushi, but it depends on which Chinese. If you're talking about real Chinese food from China, I've never had that. But if you're talking about American Chinese food, I pretty much only get General Tso or the vegetable lo mein. So, but sushi, I gotta take sushi over both of those. As much as I love a good vegetable lo mein and a good General Tso or General TSO, as it's referred to when I was younger. Michael McDowell dines at Margaritaville. Hey, Margaritaville, that was the cruise, but for sure, Margaritaville, the restaurant, that's one I definitely got to check out next time I'm in Florida. Rockingham would be awesome. Rockingham for the All-Star venue after Wilkesboro gets the point state back would be cool as well, says Matt Hunter. Denny Hamlin gets his haircut at Sport Clips. Oh, man, if you saw his haircut, I don't know if Sport Clips even wants to claim that haircut. He said he did it himself. Bent, what's up, my man? Ty Gibbs, round of 8. Phoenix, I don't know. Yeah, I got Ty Gibbs going pretty far. So I think he's been very impressive, and I think he'll continue to get better. Did they run laps in the EV of tomorrow, says Krusty. So allegedly, according to Couch Racer, the EV wrecked in practice when it was practicing around the track. So the EV never came out to do its little demonstration. I bet Netflix crew at LA filming the meeting, the Clash race, and Logano Gibbs feud. Yeah, so allegedly, somebody was talking about in the comments for the video, apparently Ross Chastain and Tyler Reddick got into it on the track, and he said that the way they got into it on the track, maybe they would have been talking junk after the race too. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Fox didn't show it, or I just completely missed it, one or the other. But yeah, so that was one of the drama things that I missed. So that one could have playoff implications too if they're still mad at each other as the season progresses. It's good. Denny Hemorrhoid fans got to win. They deal with so much heartbreak. They needed a little something. LOL says Shy. That's what you call an underhanded compliment there. Denny Hamlin can win now, but we all know he will choke in the playoffs, says Joseph. NASCAR owns the Rockingham track, and that's what I'm saying. So there's no reason they'd be putting money into it if something wasn't going to happen there. Sport Clips is awful. They jacked up my hair so bad for a wedding that I used them as an example as a reason you can cancel your vacation with a cancel for any reason policy. That's hilarious. Too small, bro. You seen those grandstands, says Krusty. Did they pave Hickory? They have not. I can assure you they have not paved Hickory. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Iowa finally, says Sean. And look, I'm being dead honest. I love Hickory. It's a great racetrack. But to hold a cup race, they would have to do a lot of stuff. What are your thoughts on the Iowa finale? I don't know. Let's see. And if there's a lot of tracks you can throw in there. I mean, the final race is another one they need to move around. So Iowa would be as good a spot as anywhere. And if you go to Sport Clips, you just call the insurance company and tell them you went to SC, and they will know you can't be seen in public with that haircut. No questions asked. Say probably 3 times a day. The new NASCAR series is a snooze fest. I don't like Hamlin at all, but he is about the only likable person in the series, says SF. I think the Netflix thing is going to help. Stuff a lot because you actually get to see how the drivers actually are. You don't get to see the marketed version that you see most of the time on social media and in commercials and stuff like that. Christopher Bell uses Mobile One. He does. Unfortunately, didn't make the Clash race. So that was not a lot of people had that on the bingo card. NASCAR coming full circle. Only took them 25 years to realize it belongs in the Southeast, says Krusty. I think it belongs everywhere, but they need to pick their markets. They don't need to pick markets that they want to be in. They need to pick markets that want NASCAR. Like that would be my only caveat or whatever. BB Applebee's wings or Hooters wings. I'm going to go with Hooters wings there. Wawa Cup Series, says Krusty. Probably the best on-track racing to date. On-track can't be mad at NASCAR for the weather. Booth wasn't bad either for being thrown out there. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to judge any of the process or anything like that until Daytona because you can't control the weather. It was slapped together at the last minute. Now, that being said, they knew the weather was coming, so they could have made this decision earlier in the week. That's going to be the only legit critique that I can throw NASCAR's way. So other than that, Ross Chastain drinks beer with his watermelon, says in between the lanes while eating a Baconator. So he saves the watermelon for dessert, and he has him a bush and a baconator, and he's ready to go. Thunderbird at the track last night. Got to stay hydrated. Neither OJ. Pretty sure Ricky told John Hunter Nemechek under break, "Hey man, there's a beverage. There's a beverage here." I could be wrong, but that's what I'm going to believe. Says Say Kyle. That is an excellent comment. Say Kyle. That is a good comment. I see what you did there, and I appreciate it. Any confirmation on that electric wrecking during practice? Allegedly, I haven't found any confirmation on it, but allegedly the electric car wrecked, and that's why I didn't do the demonstration. Really won. LOL says Krusty. NASCAR needs ego check. LA, what are you people thinking? Says Cochise. Had to scramble, but got to see the race on TV. Great race. Harvick was good on Fox's camera. Director sucks. Says Mark Martin, fan for life. Yeah, I'm with you right there, man. Like the announcers are talking about something, and whoever is directing cameras, they're off doing whatever, filming whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. They're not always filming what the guys are talking about. NASCAR is probably better off if viewership was way down, because it's a terrible look to have that type of attendance. Could this hurt the momentum of the Netflix series that the Netflix series created? It may be in the short term, but I think long term, when you get into the regular season and the real races, I think it'll be okay. Mugu Gai Pan is delicious. BB, give it a shot next time you order your Chinese. So say, Kyle, I'll give it a shot for sure. BB, would you try watermelon Busch Light? For sure, and I'm gonna try it when they bring it out later this year. No EV, no heats, no last chance, no main on TV. Says Loner, gluten free as well. Say Kyle. Says Krusty. Fox mentioned it afterwards, but Ross and Reddick said they were friends and everything was cool. Says Dirty Def. Okay, so whatever happened, they worked it out. So good for them. Good for them. I thought the two 2311 cars had spun each other out, because I saw the 23 spun and I saw the 45 spun. I thought they had taken each other out at the end of the race, because once again Fox didn't show it, but Larson had taken out the 23, and I guess Ross had taken out the 45. So I guess that's what happened there. I thought they had wrecked each other. So I was totally confused about that. Let's see. NASCAR had that EV at Martinsville. Reagan drove it. Would not let me in the parking lot. Says Roger Riggs. Man, I didn't like Sport Clips when I went there either. Says TJ Moorshed. At the end of the day, I believe quarter mile are too small for cup races. And here's the other thing about Sport Clips. How many down bad dudes are going to Sport Clips just to get the neck rub and the shoulder rub? How many? Let me know down in the chat. What percentage of people do you think are going to Sport Clips because they're down bad and they just want the touch? They just want the touch. Let's see. Chrome Diesel. At the end of the day, I believe quarter miles are too small for cup cars. 3/8, because I feel like that's the only way Sport Clip stays in business. I'm just that was the rest of that thought process. Just so you knew where I was going with that. But I think it's time to pull the plug off the Clash, just to focus on Daytona 500 Sports Clips. If you want to sponsor the show, I'm right here. Got probably the best haircut. It's better than Denny Hamlin's, that's for sure. Best haircut in the game. So there you go. Put it on number 3 and just go all the way around your head. Let's see. Leave a thumbs up, folks. Says Shy. I'm not afraid. Yeah, I mean, 3/8 of a mile might be too small for sure. Just to follow up on what Chrome Diesel was saying there. But there's ways to make it work. Bowman Gray makes it work. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say they can't get it done. It just has not translated at the LA Coliseum for whatever reason. I'm not a fan of the quarter mile ovals racing. I need at least a half mile for full-bodied stock cars. Is it raining at the Coliseum now? That's a good question. I'm not in LA. It's raining, men, says Krusty. Talking to Loner. Thanks, Krusty. Fox has Master Chef or something on. Thought they would at least do a rerun. That's what I was thinking too, Loner. I was thinking they would at least show the Mexico race or something on Fox. I mean, it's not like they're really showing like a ton of anything else. So I thought they would at least get a replay of the race in. Right front pad was different construction than the left front pad. So yeah, I mean, they can do all kinds of stuff. I don't super want to get into that, because that's one of those things that I don't want to give anything personally away as far as that stuff goes. But there are things you can do with the brakes. We'll put it that way, to make the car turn. Jeff Gluck is the least obnoxious of the trio of him, Jordan Bianchi, and Denny Downer, says Matt Hunter. I wonder if MGK's camp said safety concerns, so they didn't avoid the contract, and he can get paid to do absolutely nothing. Says Say Kyle. I think it's just MGK being like, to me, I thought it was just MGK being social media conscious. He doesn't want a bunch of pictures of him doing a concert and there's nobody there at the concert while he's doing it. I thought it was more of an ego thing. I thought that's why he pulled out. Go Ross, go hit the wall. Oops, says Robbie Marks. Nah, they'll just replace it 500 times during the week on FS1. So yeah, maybe they'll play it 100 times on FS1. Hey, Berger, what's your thoughts on NASCAR doing a 12-hour endurance race at the ovals? Not on the schedule, but put Xfinity trucks and Cup on the same track all at the same time, run 60 cars. Says Mike Menzer. It sounds good in theory, but in practice, do you really want Truck Series drivers out there with Cup Series drivers the way that they can't a lot of times can't keep it together on the track? So I don't know. It sounds really cool in theory, but maybe put a 3-spin rule in if we're going to do that. I do think NASCAR is working toward an endurance type race. I do think that's what the Garage 54 car was all about. He said cartoon graphics. Add to my question, maybe they could add new Rovals to the schedule if the fans like it. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of people are pushing back that they feel like there's too many road courses right now. So I don't know. They could definitely add them. That's for sure. But I feel like a lot of people have been. I feel like the majority of people think there's too many road courses as it stands. So I don't know. I don't know if that would be super the way to go or super popular with the fans. BB, is the McRib overrated? Oh, for sure. The McRib is one of the most overrated things of all time. But every year when it comes out, people get excited about it. So who am I? Who am I to what is it? Rain on the parade. What was the deal with the 9 punting everybody at the end of the race? If you're talking about practice or whatever, qualifying, he was moving people out of the way because he was trying to get a good qualifying lap. That's the only time I saw him punting people. His car broke. Something in his car broke, possibly from that qualifying contact during the actual race, though. So I don't think he was even running it, but he might have been, but I don't think he was running at the end of the race. I saw the first 2 episodes of NASCAR full speed. I like Hamlin more and more. My only con is 5 episodes, and they talk too much about the playoffs. Says Chrome Dude. Yeah, so the whole thing is revolved around the playoffs. So they're executive produced by Dale Jr., by the way. So that's pretty cool too. But yeah, it was definitely focused around the playoffs. I go for the Brazilian back wax. Says Krusty. Good man. Keeping that thing nice and trimmed or whatever. I went to Sport Clips on opening week, or manicured, I should say. Manicured, literally. So I went to the Sport Clips on opening week of the NFL on Sunday. They couldn't find a channel with a game on. They gave me a Karen cut when the back of my head was was short. The rest was long. I was furious. Says Say Kyle. I'm trying to imagine a dude with a Karen haircut. I'm trying to think. What was it? Kate +8. I'm trying to think of like a dude with a Kate +8 haircut. Or what was it? John and Kate, Ron and Kate, Dave and Kate. I don't know. It's a disaster. One of those Kate people, and that her poor husband. That's all I can say about that one. Welcome back. Hope they moved the Clash. It was a fun concept. A bit, I think, of novelty at the Coliseum is wore off. Says Napa Race Man. Yeah, I think it's worn off for sure too. Reddick chased Chastain on the last turn, and then Ross returned the favor after the race. Ross said they were actually buddies. So hopefully they got that put behind them. We all know that Ross really doesn't care, though, at the end of the day. So if he wants to get rowdy with Ross, he's picked a hard one to go after. And same thing, like Joey Logano and Ty Gibbs. That's a pair right there, man. Like I don't think either one of them is going to give an inch. So I really think there's potential for that to turn into an Earnhardt Bodine, because I don't see Ty Gibbs backing down, and I definitely don't see Joey Logano backing down. That could literally get ugly. And I had to get picks like that at effing wedding. Take them with a passion. LOL says hate them with a passion. Says Say Kyle. Have you seen some of those women at Sports Clips not letting some of them touch my neck? LOL says Mark Barnum. For sure. Karen cut says Krusty. So yeah, the Karen cut. That's definitely. We're gonna go with that. That's a good. We're gonna use that for something later. I used to go to Sport Clips until they started sponsoring Denny. Says Jason Pons. Didn't Sport Clips used to sponsor? weren't they a Joey Logano sponsor? Like, wasn't it Sport Clips and GameStop? I know it was Casey Kane for a while, but I want to say they sponsored Joey Logano too. Denny, the man, Southside Speedway represents, says Krusty. He did race at Southside for sure. I feel like he won most of his late model races at Kinley, I think, or Southern. They call it Southern National. We call it Kinley around here. I had a friend from work watch the Netflix series. He's never followed or watched any racing. He said he might watch the 500. Also asked who the cocky a-hole is, who the dude in the wheelchair is. Yeah, so Booty Barker. That's what I'm saying. Like Booty Barker, I feel like Booty Barker is the real star of the show. Denny Hamlin, when Denny Hamlin's being real, like when he's hanging out with his girls, those are good moments. But you can tell the other times that he's on camera, you can tell that he's literally kind of like in character. He's like, I don't want people to like me. I want to be an asshole. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, okay, we got you. Badass alert. So that, to me, that's him playing a character and being scripted. But when he's like actually hanging out with his family and being real, like when he's being real, honest to God, Denny, I think that's what people are like. They're like, they haven't seen that side of Denny Hamlin. And that's the really cool side of Denny Hamlin, that if you go to races and you see him interact with the fans, like he's really cool to the fans, especially his fans. But you don't have to be his fan. Like he'll be cool to you, but he plays this bad guy character on TV, and he's definitely gotten in people's head, and he enjoys playing that bad guy character. But I think at the end of it is just that. I think it is just a character. He very well could have said no for that reason, but based on my past music industry experience, cancel like that would 100% void his payout. Says say Kyle. Okay, so they had to give a reason. I got you. I follow what you're saying there. I didn't pick it up at first. I got you. So yeah, I got you. Possibly even force a refund of deposit when the gig was originally booked. Yep, I got you. I follow exactly what you're saying now. You got to give them some type of reason. So that 100% makes more sense than what I'm saying in that particular case, because it would be more about the money in that deal. Of course, Netflix is a show worth watching right after I ditched it. That's the way it works, man. Like whenever you get rid of a streaming service, that's when they put on the whatever you wanted to actually see. You're like, I just canceled that one. Mexico series had slightly better racing than the class. Oh, dude, the Mexico series race was good. That was a good race. Shout out to Daniel Suarez for keeping a positive attitude, and he could have been down in the dumps and then not perform well there, but he kept a positive attitude and then went out there and got the job done. Netflix series would have been better as a season long type documentary, says Bob Dole. They might be doing a full season this year. I feel like they were already at the Clash, so maybe they're going to do a longer version this year. John and Kate +8. That's it. In between lanes. So there is it's either on Amazon or on Netflix. Somebody did a documentary on them, or maybe it's just on YouTube. It might have just been on YouTube. Somebody did a documentary on them. Disturbing. The more you learn about them, the more disturbing it gets. I didn't know it quite was that bad, but pray for the kids. So where's your favorite bologna burger? South Boston makes a mean one, says Krusty. South Boston bologna burger is really good. Ace Speedway has a really good one. And way back in the day, early 2000s, late 90s, I want to say, Orange County, they had a dude down there that cooked them. And man, he was like chef's kiss. That dude, Orange County, Rougemont is what most people call it. We call it Orange County Speedway around here. And every time I say Orange County, people are like, oh, Orange County in New York. Nope. There's Orange County in Rougemont, which is really close to Hillsborough. So that's the one we're talking about. When I say Orange County, that's the one I'm talking about. Bob Dole, but whatever he did made it special. Bob Dole, but I would say probably Ace Speedway, South Boston, most famous. So I mean, if you had to pick, South Boston's going to be the more famous one. It's kind of like if you go to New York, you get a Coney dog. You get a hot dog off the street, and it's going to be really good. You go to New York, you get a Coney dog. You go to LA to a Dodgers game, get a Dodger dog. Bologna burger, South Boston bologna burger, most famous. But I personally, I like the Ace Speedway one. They have they have a thicker slice of bologna, and you can dress it how you want to dress it. Let's see. BB, should Formula One race at Talladega sometime in the future? Believe it or not. So I was looking it up, and I want to say Monza. Yeah, Monza maybe. I might have. Formula One used to have a circle, an oval. I think it's Monza, the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. I might have the wrong track though. But yeah, they actually used to run, I think up till 1975, they actually ran an oval race. So now that YouTube exists, I'm going to have to go back and find an F1 race on an oval. I got to see that, man. That would be freaking wild. But yeah, I don't think they would do good at Talladega for sure. They probably go too fast and flip over. But I can't cheer for neither Joey or Gibbs, says Robin Marks. You can cheer for them to get routed, drive each other rough. You can cheer for that. What's up, guys? What's up, NASCAR fan? Casey Kane was great clips. Oh, great clips. Oh, yep. You're absolutely right. Dude's trying to get a sponsor here, y'all. I'll back off the sport clips, but no. We're good. This hair gets cut randomly. I think my hair has been cut maybe 3 or 4 times in 2 years, tops. I'm saying 3 times in 2 years. That's how often my hair gets cut. So that would not be a good sponsor. Whenever I diss a sponsor, I say that. Just so you know, or diss a company, I act like yeah, sponsor me. I find it funny how Logano was complaining. I really don't want sponsors. That's a lot to work around. When he's drove his competitors the same way, what comes around goes around. Oh, for sure. And look, you can't. It's hard to sympathize with Ty Gibbs because he drives the same way, and that's why it's funny that both of those guys. And I'm not saying that either one of them drive dirty. I want to be very clear about that. But both of those guys drive very aggressively, and if they run into you, they don't have a whole lot of sympathy. So it's interesting that they have now tangled. So I don't think either one of them is going to blink first. So I think it could get seriously. It could get bad. I told you BB Hamlin would win the Champions Clash, says I won. Hey, look, it's hard to bet against Denny Hamlin. He's been doing it for a long time, 50-plus wins. Good driver. F1 should run a long race on a short pier, says Mark Barnum. Denny had 4 times more airtime than anybody else, says Dirty Def. The reason for that could be because he is the executive producer was Dale Jr., and he is a Dirty Mo media member. So if you want to throw the conspiracy theories out there, let's just throw them out there right now. All the Dale Jr. fans just jumped into the chat to tell me I'm a moron. Bubba Wallace sponsored by Red Ruby Beauty Supply. I don't know anything about that. The NASCAR Netflix series, I thought I was watching an interview from Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and Bubba. Okay, I guess those guys to a lot of people. I haven't finished watching it yet, so I can't give my 2 cents. I haven't made it that far yet. But to be fair, according to a lot of people, those are also the drivers that gave them the most access. So if your driver wasn't on there, I guess they need to make the playoffs, and B, I guess give them more access. So far, I think they're talking to William. I've made it to maybe episode 2, and they're talking to William Byron and his girlfriend, where I dropped it off at. BB is a connoisseur of White Russians, Caucasians, and good movies. Please tell me you've seen Best in Show. If I've seen it, I don't remember it. So I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to do some. I'll watch Best in Show tonight, and then I will try to finish out the Netflix series and get a review done on that for probably an episode tomorrow. Probably tomorrow night at some point. I'll be when that episode drops. Orange County #1 and everything in my book, says Krusty. Daytona 500 for Netflix. Would something that would make existing fans and new fans appreciate the 500 more and more. So many storylines occur in the 500 than any of the other races in the year. Yeah, so the 500 is when you're getting all your plans together. Everything's the teams that are getting it done at the last minute. It makes for a lot of drama. So yeah, and I feel like they've done a Daytona series with somebody before. And Motor Trend actually did a decent one not too long ago. Maybe it was last year or 2 years ago with Austin Dillon, Corey LaJoie, and maybe somebody else was in there. That was a pretty good series too. The Mexico series got pushed to FS2, unfortunately, for FS1 college basketball. Clash pushed the FS1 due to women's college basketball on Fox, says Napa Racing fan. Best racing, no cops, outlaw. Once saw 2 fat chicks brawl it out for 15 minutes straight in the stands. Dude in the security shirt was placing bets, says Krusty. So there you go. I don't know if that's Orange County, New York, or Orange County, North Carolina. So, but it could definitely happen at either one. Hey, Burger, do you have any Rusty Wallace or Brad K diecast cars? Says Matthew Smith. Rusty Wallace, I've got like the old racing champions of Rusty Wallace. Brad Keselowski, They would be the 164s on Brad Keselowski. I don't have any of the 124s, but I do want a back when it was the blue Miller car. I'm trying to find a blue Miller Dodge, so that's actually going to be one on the list there for sure. But yeah, I did like Brad Keselowski back in the day. I still like him now. I'm just saying I liked him a lot when he was at Penske. He made a lot of with my friend group at the time. When he was champion in 2012, he made a lot of, I think it was it the 2012 champion or maybe 2011? Anyway, whenever he was champion, I'm not great with years. So whenever he was the champion and he did the whole, he got tanked up during the interviews and stuff like that, that went pretty far with my friend group. So we were all Miller Lite drinkers back then. What do you think of Tony Romo? Tony Romo does a good job. I'm not going to hate on him. He wears Skechers and he's always comfortable too. So good on him. Mexico Series had a good late model short track feel to it. Yeah, I think they do use the 5-star late model. At least the noses look like 5-star late model noses. Napa watching Caitlin Clark was a way bigger draw than NASCAR. Yeah, she was trying to break a record or something. What's up, guys? As a Denny Hamlin fan, I'm glad he won the race, says Trucker Dan. Glad he got it done for you too. A lot of Denny Hamlin fans are super stoked today. A couple silver spoons that drive like plastic forks, says Krusty. Surprising to see Logano act like that because he has a reputation of dishing it out, but being able to take it. He usually doesn't say anything afterwards because he dishes it out a lot. Well, I mean, in this situation, to be fair, it's not like he was walking up. Point that out. I don't think Joey, until we know exactly what was said, it's hard for me. I think it's just going to be interesting that an immovable object is about to run into an unstoppable force, and we're going to find out who blinks first. Did Machine Gun Kelly play last night? Says Loner. He did not play last night. Not to the NASCAR fans, at least. With all the relaxing substance that Kyle Busch is sponsored by, no wonder he had to get Morgan and Morgan. That's an excellent comment. I like what you did there. Kern County would be dope, says Chris MV. Enjoy Best in Show. Absolutely hysterical. Gonna watch some TV with my wife and get some quality time in. Have a good night. Appreciate you, say Kyle. Thanks for hanging out as always. BB, are you bummed or sad that MGK didn't perform a halftime break? I mean, once again, my man. I'm not. I don't know anything. I couldn't name one song that he does, so I can't speak one way or the other on it. Let's see. Yes, sir. The Rumble in Rougemont, says Krusty. So he's talking about the Orange County in North Carolina. I've been a NASCAR fan for 40 years since Rusty Wallace was a rookie. Hey, there you go. He came up driving the 27, I feel like, and then he went to Penske. What was that dude's name? Oh, it's escaped me. But he won the championship in the 27, then he went to Penske. Let's see. Napa Racing Fan says Harvick had a good commentator debut, but the Fox camera work. Yeah, I'm with you. The Fox camera work needs improvement. 100% Napa fan. And the cartoon characters have got to go 100%. I'm so tired of the comic book action figure look. People aren't even going to action figure or our comic book hero movies anymore. The fad. I feel like the fad has finally died out. It's not cool. It makes it look amateur. I agree with you. It's old. It was old when they started it, and it just has not aged well. I love your channel with the NASCAR getting back to its roots. Why wouldn't we want racing back at the Rock? I wonder how much fixing up they would have to do. Travis, I feel like it's pretty turnkey at this point. I think Rockingham's ready to go. I think they're locked and ready. Like the like button, please, says Mark Barnum. So yeah, if you want to hit the like button, it would be much appreciated. Good point about Logano. He didn't seek it out. Yeah, so I think that's the thing a lot of people are missing. And it's a minor detail, but it's a detail that does make a little bit of difference. He didn't like go around looking for Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs did wave him over to the trailer. So at least from what I understand, I wasn't there. As Denny Hamlin quoted Joe Logano, it's short track racing for sure. Like a lot of people are upset, and probably today, a lot of the people that were super upset probably don't care as much today because you're just a track that small. You're just going to run into people, and you're in a hot race car. You're gonna get pretty mad pretty easy. Surprising to see Logano act like that because he has a reputation of dishing it out. But being able to take it, he usually doesn't say anything afterwards because he dishes it out a lot. Yeah, you're right about that. You are right about that. He typically doesn't say anything. Maybe one or two words here. And from what I've heard, like he wants to. He's got a bunch of kids and he wants to set a good example for the kids. He doesn't want his kids to be I think he said he doesn't want my kid. I don't want my kids pulling up YouTube videos and seeing me act a certain way, and then I have to explain why I was acting like that. So part of it is he's trying to set a good example for his kids, according to some of the comments I've heard from him. MGK didn't make any fans. Says Dude Chronic, MGK had a business decision, and I must admit, I probably wouldn't have either. Says Dirty Def. I had to come back and hit like. I'm out. Hit the like button, everyone. LOL. Says say Kyle. Enjoy your movie and family time, my man. Iceberg said MGK didn't even show up. Says like dislike. Good morning, BB. What's up, Tony Servillo? Hope you're doing good. Hope it's Crivello. I'm just going to go with Tony. I think I butchered your last name, and I apologize for that. Kyle Bush called Joey Logano two-faced last year. Yeah, and the part of the Netflix documentary that I've seen so far, Denny Hamlin on the radio, God, he really gave it to Joey Logano. Like he called him some pretty terrible stuff. So I don't know. But it's on the radio and it's in the heat of the moment. So, but it wasn't even Denny Hamlin getting hit, and he was talking about him like that. So that was pretty crazy. I think it was the Martinsville race. So maybe episode 2. I don't know. Kyle Busch called Joey Logano two-faced last year. Hitting the guy every turn is not cool, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, so and that's what Joey Logano said. Joey Logano said Ty Gibbs hit him every single turn. And he said there's a difference between racing hard and bumping and then just running somebody over. So that's Joey Logano's side of it. Next class should be held at Long Beach Street Course. That would be pretty cool. I think the Long Beach Street Course would be a good venue. I wouldn't want to do it every year, but I think it could be a venue that it sort of gets rotated around as well. Travis says racing at the Clash was some of the best there was of the 3 years, in my opinion. So there was a lot of action at various points. There was a lot of follow the leader slot car too. So it just depends on what section of the race. I will say this: the end of the race was good, and it was a really good finish. Because Kyle Busch did lay the bumper, but he couldn't quite get enough bumper on Denny Hamlin to loosen him up. So I do think it was good. Ross is featured a lot in episode 3, says Dirty Def. So okay, I'll check that one out. So I think that'll be good too. Stay on here for like a minute more if anybody else has anything. Otherwise, I'm going to jump off here. Looks like I've reached the end of the chat here. Kyle Busch said the type of driving. Kyle Busch said that type of driving made it the Cup, says Duke Chronic, talking about running over people and stuff like that. To be fair, Joe Logano put Denny in the hospital for a week after Fontana. Denny genuinely doesn't like him, says Sheldon Williams. That's a very good point. Didn't he break his back, like his lower back? So I think he broke his lower back. So that is, yeah, I might not, I'm with you. I'm with you. I wouldn't cut anybody any. I'd totally forgotten about that. Yeah, good, very good point. Very good point there, Sheldon. I think Joey has beef with every JGR driver. Yeah, so that's probably that's probably a good point too. He probably wants to beat he wants to beat everybody really bad. Don't get me wrong. But being let go from Joe Gibbs Racing, that's got to bother him. So for sure. Chrome Diesel saying next stream will be Tuesday. So Tuesday will be the next stream. Sheldon saying yes. He was out of racing for the little heart icon is blocking it. I can't see it. Yeah. So, but he was out of racing for several months, for sure, and that can't be a good thing for a month. I got you. Notice the drivers who did the best just stayed on the bottom, and the ones who tried to pass outside paid the price. Yeah, passing on the outside, unless you were just way faster than the other guy, that just wasn't going to work out. For a month after Fontana, says Sheldon Williams. Okay, so a month after Fontana. Chrome Diesel saying have a good night. And that looks like the end of it. So that is the end of it. I'm gonna check out here. Till the next time, you guys take them easy and peace.